What if daily things in your pantry, sink, or laundry area become scarce or pricey overnight? It may sound dramatic, but this is exactly what is happening in America right now. Millions of people are silently stockpiling before 2026. Not survival gear, but everyday household products that you would never expect to run out. Stay in, because in this video, I'll explain why this silent wave of stockpiling is spreading, which 13 goods are disappearing the fastest, and how you can prepare wisely before prices skyrocket. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I've spent the last couple days going through market statistics, consumer data, and preparation forums, and what I discovered honestly startled me. People across the United States, from budget-conscious families to ordinary food enthusiasts, are secretly building little stockpiles, not of emergency rations, but of everyday items that may soon become the new luxury. In this video, I'll go over the 13 ordinary household things that Americans are purchasing ahead of 2026, and more importantly, why. You'll learn about the underlying causes of the quiet fear, ranging from inflation and tariffs to global supply interruptions, as well as how to keep ahead of the curve without overspending or overstocking. Trust me, by the end, you'll never look at your pantry, bathroom cupboard, or shopping list the same way again. Before we get started, let me know if you've seen any shortages, price increases, or bare shelves in your local stores recently, maybe on coffee, paper products, or cleaning supplies. Your observation could benefit someone else watching today. 1. Canned beans and legumes, black beans, chickpeas. Canned beans may appear regular on a grocery store shelf, but they have quietly become one of the wisest items people are stockpiling before 2026. Chickpeas, black beans, and lentils are easy, nutritious, and protein-rich. Not only are they nutritious, but they also have a long shelf life. These small cans can remain for years without deteriorating, making them a popular choice when prices rise or fresh food becomes pricey. According to the Economic Times, demand for basic canned products is already increasing as consumers prepare for potential import limits and tariff adjustments. Many of these beans are imported or reliant on foreign-grown crops, so even minor disruptions can drastically affect availability and hit. When global shipping slows or prices rises, canned foods such as beans provide a simple, dependable safety net for average families. What's intriguing is that they're being purchased by more than just hardcore preppers. Regular shoppers, college students, and even foodies are surreptitiously gathering a tiny hoard. Why? Beans are multifunctional. They can be tossed into soups, tacos, salads, or rice bowls without the need for special seasonings. They're satisfying, cost-effective, and remain one of the most cheap protein sources available. However, there is one key point to remember when you begin stockpiling. When feasible, buy cans that are devoid of BPA. Some linings contain BPA, a chemical that should be avoided for long-term health. Also, don't simply stack and forget them. Rotate your stock. Use the oldest cans first before replacing them with new ones. That way, nothing goes to waste, and you always have fresh backup food on hand in case prices rise again. For many Americans, canned beans have evolved from a low-cost cupboard filler to a quiet sort of food insurance. Practical, easy, and unexpectedly important. 2. Olive oil and other staple oils. Olive oil has long been a culinary staple, but it is now becoming a silent investment. More people in the United States are stockpiling cooking oils, particularly olive oil, before 2026. The explanation is straightforward. It is shelf-stable, flexible, and more import-sensitive. According to the Economic Times, global supply issues and trade barriers may drive prices considerably higher in the coming months. The majority of olive oil offered in American stores comes from nations such as Spain, Italy, and Greece. So when tariffs rise or delivery slows, those sleek green bottles on the grocery store shelf become a little more difficult to find and far more expensive. But there is another twist. Extreme weather in Europe has already hampered olive harvests, reducing productivity in some areas by nearly half. Combine it with inflation and transportation costs, and you have the perfect storm for a price increase. That's why many astute buyers, not just preppers, are secretly stockpiling an extra bottle or two now before costs rise again. Olive oil isn't just for gourmet recipes, it's a daily necessity. You may use it for frying, baking salads, and even making your own dressings and marinades. It's also a healthier fat than many processed oils, making it a cupboard staple for both flavor and health. Olive oil, unlike perishable products, may be stored properly for months, if not years. Here's the key. Always store your oil in dark bottles away from heat and direct sunshine. Light and warmth can accelerate the rancidification process. A cold, dark cabinet is ideal, Also, if you use a lot of oil, consider rotating your stock. Use older bottles first to keep your supply fresh. For the time being, olive oil is still one of the best pantry goods to stock up on early. It's not only about cooking, it's about safeguarding your comfort, your money, and your kitchen staples from becoming another luxury item due to rising worldwide pricing. 3. Sugar and flour, baking staples. Sugar and wheat may appear too basic to be concerned about, but they are quietly becoming must-have items on many stocking lists. These two cupboard essentials are central to practically every home kitchen, from morning pancakes to baked bread to a last-minute batch of cookies. But here's the thing, they're also among the first products to see price increases when inflation hits. According to reports, even slight increases in fuel and transportation costs can swiftly spread across the food chain, raising the cost of grains and sugars. And because sugar and flour are used in hundreds of everyday dishes, rising prices affect everything from snacks to sauces. That's why wise customers are stockpiling now. Not to hoard, but to stay ahead of regular price increases that could last until 2026. Sugar and flour are challenging since they are frequently disregarded. People often focus on canned products or cooking oils, forgetting that dry commodities are the foundation of innumerable recipes. However, during previous shortages and price increases, supermarkets saw these shelves deplete faster than anticipated. Keeping a few extra bags on hand allows you to continue baking, cooking, or meal prepping without fear of sudden shortages or sticker shock at the checkout. What is the good news? Sugar and flour have a long shelf life if properly stored. Just keep them cool and dry, preferably in airtight containers to avoid moisture and bugs. Avoid filling your pantry with more than you'll ever use. The idea is to stay supplied, not overstocked. A few extra bags of sugar and flour may not seem like much, but they can make a significant difference when prices rise or supplies run low. It's a simple step that will keep your kitchen running efficiently and your budget stable, one cup at a time. 4. Coffee and chocolate, specialty foods. Coffee and chocolate, two simple pleasures that many of us cannot live without, are gradually becoming quiet luxury commodities. According to Kiplinger, both goods are significantly import dependent, relying on commodities grown in places with growing production costs, unpredictable weather, and trade instability. For millions of Americans, this means that your morning coffee or beloved chocolate bar may soon cost significantly more, or worse, disappear from shop shelves for weeks at a time. These goods have always been seen as little treats, something to relax after a long day or as part of a weekend ritual. However, when inflation strikes and global supply chains tighten, those minor indulgences suddenly feel like luxuries. Droughts in South America have already pushed coffee prices upward, and cocoa output in West Africa has been hampered by low harvests. These aren't short-term issues. Experts believe shortages and soaring costs will persist beyond 2026. That's why more individuals, particularly foodies, are covertly storing coffee and chocolate right now, not to fill a bunker, but to preserve the flavors that add delight and comfort to daily living. It's also about spending wisely. Purchasing a few extra bags of your favorite roast or bars before another price increase can save you money in the long term. When stocking up, choose quality over quantity. You may not go through a lot of it, but freshness still matters. To avoid melting or blooming, store coffee beans or grounds well wrapped in cool, dry circumstances, and chocolate away from heat and sunshine. These tiny luxuries have a higher emotional worth than most cupboard items. For many people, a warm cup of coffee or a mouthful of dark chocolate is more than a treat. It's a moment of peace in an uncertain world. And in an age of escalating prices, preserving those moments seems worth every penny. 5. Maple syrup and sweeteners. Maple syrup may seem like a weekend breakfast staple, but it's recently become one of those quietly strategic stash products. According to the Economic Times, taxes on Canadian exports and trade tensions are affecting the supply and pricing of pure maple syrup, and the ripple effect is extending to other sweets as well. Since Canada produces the majority of the world's maple syrup, even minor disruptions in trade or production might cause prices in the United States to rise quicker than expected. It's not all about pancakes anymore. Maple syrup, honey, and other natural sweeteners have become pantry staples for those seeking healthier or less processed alternatives. And because they have a long shelf life, they're ideal for anyone wishing to store up wisely without worrying about expiration dates. Many shoppers are stockpiling an additional bottle or two of maple syrup, not out of panic, but as a quiet backup in case tariffs or price increases hit harder. Sentiment is another factor contributing to this trend's growth. During times of rising costs, simple luxuries like maple syrup or honey become emotional necessities. A sprinkle on your oatmeal, a spoonful in your coffee, or a touch in baking can feel like a modest pleasure that people are reluctant to give up. If you intend to stock up, storage is essential. Always store maple syrup in a cold, dark area and ensure that the top is properly secured after each use. Once opened, refrigerate to maintain freshness and flavor. Other sweeteners, such as honey, can be used at room temperature. However, direct sunlight should be avoided. These golden liquids may appear simple, yet they symbolize warmth, sweetness, and a sense of normalcy. As tariffs and inflation affect common commodities, having a little extra sweetness on hand is one modest way to stay prepared and make life taste a little better. 6. Toilet paper and paper products. Toilet paper is the only item everyone remembers running out of during the 2020 panic. While the stores appear to be full, many Americans are covertly stockpiling supplies just in case. According to the Economic Times, paper goods remain vulnerable to supply interruptions due to their reliance on imported commodities such as pulp and packaging components. When tariffs raise or delivery slows, even little delays might cause significant shortages or price increases. The weird thing about toilet paper is how ordinary it seems until it's gone. It's not flashy, but it's necessary, which is why individuals include it on their silent stockpile lists before 2026. The same goes for tissues, paper towels, and napkins. These are things you don't think about on a daily basis until the last roll is gone from the cabinet. However, this latest round of stockpiling is different. It's not about panicking and buying carts full of giant packs, it's about practicality. Many families are purchasing extra bundles here and there to stay ahead of potential supply shortages or increased costs. After all, paper items are large and costs rarely fall after they have risen. However, there is a balance to be maintained. Don't buy more than you can store comfortably. Toilet paper takes up space, and moist or humid conditions can deteriorate it over time. The idea is not to fill your garage from floor to ceiling, rather, it is to provide a tiny cushion that will keep your family comfortable no matter what happens next. It may appear simple, but stockpiling paper goods provides peace of mind. In uncertain times, having the essentials covered provides one less thing to worry about, which is precisely what calm preparation is all about. 7. Cleaning products and detergents. Cleaning supplies and detergents are frequently the first items people neglect to stock up on until they run out. But recently, many households across the United States have begun surreptitiously purchasing extra bottles and refills, and there's a good explanation for this. AOL reports that cleaning products are among the most vulnerable household commodities to supply chain disruptions and raw material shortages. Chemicals and packaging materials used to create these items are frequently imported, making them extremely vulnerable to global price fluctuations, transportation costs, and tariff changes. When inflation rises or commerce slows, the impact is gradual rather than sudden. Suddenly, your favorite laundry detergent costs a few dollars extra, or disinfectant wipes are gone from shop shelves for weeks. The same thing happened during the pandemic, and customers have not forgotten how quickly cleaning aisles became empty. With increased economic uncertainty and probable trade restrictions on the horizon, people are taking small, strategic actions to create a backup supply at home. However, it is more than just a dread of shortages. Many families prioritize cost effectiveness and convenience. Purchasing a few additional bottles of dish soap, laundry detergent, or surface cleaning while prices remain stable makes sense, especially since many items have extended shelf lives. You will always need them, and they will not spoil. There is also a shift in the way people store and use these products. Instead of large plastic containers, many people are switching to concentrated cleaning supplies and refill packets. They take up less room, last longer, and help reduce plastic waste, which benefits both your house and the environment. Some families are even trying with multi-purpose cleaners or natural DIY remedies like vinegar and baking soda to stretch their resources even farther. When stocking cleaning supplies, organization is essential. Keep them cool and dry, away from food, and firmly packed to avoid leaks or chemical odors. Rotate your stock in the same way you would with pantry products. Use the oldest items first and progressively replace them. Keeping a constant supply of cleaning supplies isn't about panicking, it's about being prepared, clean, and comfortable. Because when shelves are empty or costs rise, no one wants to compromise on hygiene. 8. Aluminum foil, plastic wrap, and food storage bags. Aluminum foil, plastic wrap, and food storage bags may appear to be minor household items, but they've become hidden gems on hoarding lists. These are the types of common products that people rarely consider until they are no longer available, at which point you realize how much you rely on them. According to Yahoo, these everyday kitchen necessities are among the most ignored goods, disappearing swiftly during supply chain disruptions or price increases. In recent years, manufacturers have faced rising costs for materials such as aluminum, plastic, and cardboard packaging. When production slowed or shipping delays occurred, these items silently disappeared from store shelves, not as dramatically as toilet paper or cleaning wipes, but enough for customers to notice. And because they are not considered urgent, many retailers do not carry a large quantity. That is why more homes are adding a few extra rolls or boxes to their shopping carts, allowing them to prepare ahead of time without going overboard. The truth is that these basic goods play a significant role in maintaining food freshness and avoiding waste. Aluminum foil protects leftovers, plastic wrap retains moisture, and storage bags aid in meal preparation and portion management. Running out of these necessities can be a major inconvenience for anyone who cook at home, especially those attempting to save money by avoiding takeout. It just makes sense to stock up on them, especially when you can get multi-packs at warehouse stores or on discount. There's also a practical side. These things are lightweight, compact, and long-lasting, so they take up little space. Just be aware of where you keep them. Store foil and wraps in a dry place away from dampness, which can harm cardboard packing. Some people even maintain backup rolls in sealed containers to keep them clean and dust-free. It is not about panic or over-preparation. It is about planning ahead. Extra rolls of foil or boxes of bags can save you stress, money, and wasted food in the long run. Because while everyone else is hurrying to wrap leftovers or make lunches, you'll be prepared, quietly stocked, and one step ahead. 9. Batteries, AA, AAA, and other types. Batteries are one of those simple, everyday necessities that you forget about until you need them. Whether it's a flashlight during a power outage, a remote control, a smoke detector, or even a child's toy, batteries silently power the majority of the products we use on a daily basis. And that's precisely why they've become a secret favorite among those planning for 2026. They are small, inexpensive, and extremely useful when other power sources are unreliable. In the prepping and survival community, batteries are regarded a small item with a big impact. You may not notice when prices rise or when certain brands run low, but during times of supply chain strain, batteries are frequently among the first to disappear. They contain globally traded minerals such as lithium and nickel, making them susceptible to shortages, tariffs, and production delays. If there's one thing recent years have taught shoppers, it's that even little disruptions may result in significant gaps on store shelves. More and more people are secretly gathering a small supply of batteries, not in large quantities, but enough to endure through emergencies or price spikes. The most popular batteries are AA and AAA, but wise stockpilers also include a few 9 volts for smoke alarms and DRC batteries for flashlights or radios. Having a consistent supply provides peace of mind, especially when storms occur or power outages become more common. When purchasing batteries, quality is important. Cheap ones may save you a few money initially, but they frequently leak, corrode, or lose charge quickly. Stick to reputable brands and store them in a cold, dry place. And here's a clever tip. Rotate your supplies. Use the oldest batteries first, then replace them gradually. This keeps your supply fresh and prevents waste. Batteries may appear mundane, yet they can be invaluable at the appropriate time. A simple drawer full of fresh batteries can keep your lights on, your devices operating, and your home fueled, proving that the tiniest details can make the greatest impact. 10. Light bulbs and basic home hardware. Light bulbs may not seem like a prepper item until you learn how important they are. If you encounter a power surge, a burned out bulb, or a shortage of supplies, you may be unable to acquire replacements. That's why smart shoppers are covertly stockpiling light bulbs and basic house gear before 2026. They may appear small and inexpensive, but they are the components that make your home functional and comfortable every day. According to Kiplinger, home items such as lights, screws, nails, and simple repair equipment are frequently disregarded when consumers consider stockpiling. Everyone hurries for food and cleaning supplies, but few consider the components and pieces that keep your home running efficiently. However, these goods are also vulnerable, particularly since many light bulbs and hardware parts are imported. When global shipping slows or tariffs rise, prices quickly climb and shelves appear thin. LED and energy-efficient bulbs, in particular, have quietly become a top focus for people planning ahead. They last longer, require less electricity, and are easy to store. Some households even retain a variety of warm and cold tones for different areas, anticipating that replacements may not always be accessible or economical. It's an easy way to be prepared without feeling like you're hoarding. The same is true for simple household hardware items such as duct tape, extension cords, screws, wall hooks, and light switch covers. They're easy to overlook unless you really need one. When supply chains tighten, these minor items are frequently overlooked in restocks because retailers do not consider them a high priority. That is precisely when prices can rise abruptly. Here's a tip. Purchase energy-efficient bulbs and keep them in a dry spot away from humidity and severe temperatures. They don't expire quickly, so keeping more on hand means you won't be left in the dark. Literally. So, while everyone is concentrated on canned goods and paper products, those who quietly stock up on modest household necessities, such as lights and hardware, are preparing for a smoother ride when the next round of shortages strikes. At the end of the day, this isn't about panicking or overcluttering your home. It's about being strategic, budget conscious, and prepared. The idea is not to hoard, rather to make your food and household products work for you in a sensible, sustainable manner. Every item we discussed today, from canned beans to batteries, has the same message. Taking tiny measures now can save you worry, money, and frustration later. But here's a reminder, don't store perishables that you won't utilize. It's tempting to get caught up in the preparation mindset and overbuy, but experts warn against doom spending, which occurs when anxiety leads individuals to purchase in excess, often resulting in a waste of money and space. Keep things simple, keep things organized, and always get what suits your actual habits and needs. If you're a foodie or a casual diner, consider this a way to keep your kitchen exciting while still safeguarding your cash. For budget-conscious viewers, this is your chance to shop wisely and save before costs rise again. And for others who are nostalgic, it may be time to stock up on those comfort staples that remind them of simpler times, before they cost twice as much. The truth is that preparedness does not have to appear severe. It could simply involve keeping a few additional items on hand, rotating them strategically, and remaining informed, because those who plan ahead do not panic later, rather they adjust. If you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up. It really assists the channel's growth. Leave a comment below and let me know which of these products you've already begun stockpiling or which surprised you the most. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos on smart purchasing, preparation, and saving methods. Thank you for watching, remain knowledgeable and supplied, and I'll see you in the next one.